How much is big tech helping out as far as they need, as Jason said, they're thirsty for electricity. Are they helping out? Are they working on behalf of you guys at all in DC and trying to get things rolling?
Definitely. I think you've seen a lot of OpenAI. Sam Altman was very vocal in regards to what needed to be done to power this AI scale up, let's call it. Very similar to what kind of Elon Musk said in Davos, I believe, that he's looking at solar, 100 gigawatts of solar in the US. So I think overall you have a lot of the CEOs from all these technology companies looking at it. You have Google. I believe that Google just did a deal with AES right over here in Texas. So you have a lot of these companies really focusing on driving the demand for additional power in the U.S.
Is that all just talk, though, or is that actually materializing in D.C. and in Congress and in state legislatures as far as making sure that businesses like this are able to sustain themselves decades into the future?
Well, not sure what I would say the word in Congress or in the political circles are.
It's always changing.
Yeah, definitely so. But I think overall they're being.
They get it.
They get it. The CEOs, like I said, CEOs of all the technology companies, the hyperscalers, et cetera, definitely are pushing that agenda. That energy is the key to unlocking AI in the U.S.
How much do you, I know that you're back and forth all over this state. How much time do you end up spending in Austin and having to talk with lawmakers and legislators, or is that someone else's joy at the company?
Yeah, well, I think yes. I've spent some time with legislators, but really our CEO and our government relations and our head of communications really spearhead that effort, and we are very vocal in Washington. We are very vocal in Austin as well.
And do you get listened to?
We do.
Yeah, okay.
We do. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we're all about energy. Correct. It's not. We're not trying to define ourselves as a renewable energy manufacturer. It's about energy and providing energy to the U.S.
Mm-hmm. And an interesting thing, just because you've straddled this fence and been in oil and gas, a lot of those big oil and gas folks who are way out in the middle of nowhere desperately want a solar or wind installation in a lot of cases near them so that they can run their operation that's going on there, looking for oil and gas.
Exactly. You've seen a lot of when you look at the Permian Basin, you've seen a lot, from wind to, we talked about earlier, West Texas. You've seen a lot of these solar farms or wind farms. If you look at Pioneer Natural Resources in the past, they were really focusing on building their renewable portfolio. So you look at very different ones. As they're electrifying their sites, they definitely need a lot more power.
It's all, I don't say it's all roses, but things look up right now, really, for this business and energy in a whole. But what concerns you most right now?
Really, power prices, correct? I think the market, as we see the demand growing from the hyperscalers, we need to make sure that there is an even playing field, and we need to figure out what the demand. How is that demand? How is the supply going to meet the demand? The other thing is really for us is a domestic strategy. We need to really focus on building a domestic supply chain to fulfill the demand that we're seeing here in the U.S.
And when you say power prices, explain that a tad more here, because these AI data centers and they're sucking up a lot of electricity as fast as you guys can turn these out, right?
Yes.
So explain what that means to our listeners who might not understand, who are thinking, hey, I just paid a lot of money for my last electric bill here.
Yeah, we might be complaining about the bills now and not even thinking about what they might be in a year or 2 years or 3 years.
And that concerns you, though, right?
It concerns, but it concerns me, but it's also where we come in to create that solution.
It's an opportunity for you guys.
Exactly, by manufacturing the solar panels here and helping that demand from not just from residential advanced manufacturing and hyperscalers. What I meant by power prices is we have to see there has to be an increase in kind of the commercial side of the power pricing, just so that we can then follow on the demand path that we're seeing from all this, again, the AI data center perspective, because I think overall, what we're seeing, we can't keep a flat, everything's about economics. And if the developers or utilities are not building fast enough that we're not going to win the AI race. And so we need to have kind of an even playing field against manufacturing, against the developers, and also the customers.